Let's pull the man of the hour up, Jaylen Pyle in the house. What is up, buddy? How we doing?
What's up, Mr. Ronin? How are y'all doing, man?
Doing good, bro. Doing good. So, we were talking before the show, but we didn't want to get too into everything. So, I just want to just hit it off the bat. I mean, how does it feel to be committed to the Michigan Wolverines, man?
Oh, man, it's a dream come true. Every day I wake up, feeling blessed and happy that I'm, able to be a part of this, prestigious program, and not just a football program, but a school-wise too. And it's something that I've dreamed for a lot of years now. And I know I'm just really excited to, make my mark at Ann Arbor.
Absolutely, man. And when you did commit to Michigan, did you feel like your hard work, like the tough days, early mornings, late nights, long practices, sore muscles, all that, did it feel like it was earned? Like, do you feel like, oh, I made it? Or like, do you just feel, I mean, we know there's more work to be had, right? But did it feel like the work met the reward?
Oh, yes, sir. Of course. There's always like that little joy you got after you do something big. And, this was big for my family. It was a place that, my family thought that was home for me. And they felt comfortable dropping me off for the next 3 to 4 years. And me, like I said before, making my mark on Ann Arbor. But I always had that thought that, okay, that's cool now, but I still got to do the work and prove why I'm a Michigan man and prove why I should be here, not just to the people out there, but to myself. Because, college is only a short part of your career. And, when you want to get to that next level and play in the NFL, you always got to treat yourself like a pro. And, there's always going to be ups and downs. And at that moment in time, it was a very big up. So I'm like, shoot, we got to get back to work. The job's not finished, It's just time. It's time to get to work. And Coach Bell and Coach Moore have been amazing about that and making me feel like I'm a part of the family already. And I haven't even stepped on campus, as a student yet. So it's been amazing.
100%. And Johnny, I'll let you go after this question. So you mentioned your mom and your support staff, and like anyone who's a Michigan Wolverines fan has seen, the work you guys are putting, especially in the social media, but trying to recruit kids. I mean, and shout out to your mom, Kia, so can you kind of tell us about your support staff and how much you appreciate them and what they mean to you on your journey?
Oh, they mean the world to me. Every day, like I said before, I wake up blessed, not just because of the person I am, the person they made me become. And, my mom is very big on Twitter. She's, me and her are always looking for new people to join the team because I want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals and people that, share the same values as me and are amazing football players as well. Like we saw it with Mason and Moose and Brady of the recent commits, Bear, like all those guys I've been in contact with for a while now. And it's kind of cool seeing the fruits of your labor kind of pay off and, talking to all these new people and just making genuine connections with these guys. Cause that's going to be your brothers for the next 3 to 4 years. Like if y'all stick together, like those are going to be your guys. And it's cool to be around people that you want to be around and guys that are going to elevate the team and not bring it down. So they've been amazing. And, just having a family that's been through this football ordeal. Like my dad played Division I football at Virginia Tech. My mom's brother played Division I football, went to the league too. So being in this type of football family just elevates me even more, and me trying to set a path for my little brother too, who's going to probably be on this call show too, if y'all keep doing it. So it's just been very, blessing and very humbling to have this support staff because not many people have it. And it's just been amazing every step of the way. And I just can't wait for what else, comes with it.
Bad, bro. Johnny, what do you got for him?
You talked about your pops, your dad, being in the NFL and also balling at Va Tech. He had about almost 300 tackles as a DB safety. That's a lot of work. So you talk about the work ethic and him showing you what it takes to not just be good, but what it takes to be really good, the hard work that it takes and the things that you have to do on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, of course. Like my dad, we sat down and talked about it. I don't even know how many times, but he said football takes it out of you. Like you got to truly love the game to play it. This is going to be the long days, the short nights you got. Getting right back up and going to the facility at 6 a.m. after a long practice day, summer workouts, winter workouts, player-led stuff, game time. Like the things like that will take it out of you, and you really just got to love the game. And, luckily for me, I'm in love with the game. I eat, sleep, breathe football, and the work ethic kind of just comes with it. I've been working out with my dad since I could walk. First word was ball. It's just something that's been instilled into me since I was a very, very young boy. And, I just can't wait to keep, elevating with him because it's my last year, at home with him. So I'm going to try to make the most of it, get as much work with him as possible. We still got to run that one-on-one with me and him. He's been pushing it off a little bit. He still says he got me. I don't know if I can let him slide with that one, but it's just been fun because he's been one of my biggest supporters, and it's amazing having that type of guy in my corner, not just as a coach, but as a dad too.
Absolutely. And let me shoot out a reminder to the chat and the community. If you guys want to ask Jaylen a question, give us a super chat and we will ask the question. I will answer a question from an individual, though, who did not super chat, but it was a question we had last week. And our guy Jason said, I know it's not super chat, but we're all wondering what division. We know you play private school. Do you know what division is the school in, or how does that work for your school?
So basically, it's like there's different levels and categories of TAPS. There's TAPS D1, D2, D3, D4, so on, and then kind of the independent schools. We play in like the highest classification, So we see a lot of Division I guys. Like Parrish has sent countless people to Division I schools. We had a quarterback last year who led the country, if not the state and the country in passing yards, had 5,000 passing yard leader in DFW. Like we got some ballers, but it's the highest classification of Texas private school football. So D1.
Bet. So shout out to Blue Wolverine for the $5 super chases. Hail to the victors. I also want to give a shout out here to Wolverine, formerly in Ohio, gifted 5 memberships to the community. We really appreciate that, Wolverine. Thank you. All right. So my question to you is, let us in on the recruiting process. So before you committed to Michigan, you're in high school and like, obviously you have these dreams, these goals. Now you have these schools reaching out to you. And I know, I've heard from other recruits that it can become hectic and a bit stressful. How was this journey for you? And did you enjoy it or was it stressful?
I enjoyed every moment of it. I always think the days that, get you where there's a lot of coaches, texting you. You always want to respond to all of them pretty quick. But I always think in the back of my head, like there's a kid out there who just wishes they had one of these offers. So what does it look like to me be complaining because I have too much food on my plate? There's people who, wish they had this. And that just kind of keeps me going. It's been amazing, creating all these relationships and bonds with these coaches. Because you never know in this age where they could be at now. Like a coach from, say, Furman can be at like a Oregon in 2 years. So I always try to, keep that in my mind, never big time any coaches that came through the school. I would be the first one to say what's up to them, regardless of classification. You could be a D2 school and I'll introduce myself like you were the best college football team in the entire nation. So that's just kind of, what I had to deal with, with that recruiting cycle. And it's just been amazing. Like I said before, people wish they can be in like certain situations, and I'm just blessed because, you can see all the hard work that's come with it. And, seeing the fruits of your labor, like I said before, kind of personify in front of you and talking to all these coaches, talking to the Michigans, talking to the Oregons, talking to the Arkansas, like all these big time programs and schools that truly have interest in you, kind of just, make everything worthwhile and you never really get tired of it.
Awesome. You said something that I haven't actually thought about, but it's a great point. And it's like you want to maintain these relationships because you never know if that coach is going to be at your next stop if that happens, right? You don't want to burn that bridge. See, a lot of coaches, they'll maintain relationships with kids, even if they go to commit to other schools because the transfer portal exists, right? But I guess I never looked at it from the other perspective where, well, maybe that coach goes to a different school or, vice versa, and that gives you an open opportunity, a door that opens for you. Yes, so, all right, so we got a super chat here. So first, shout out to Tom Bouchard. Appreciate you, Tom Bouchard. Thank you for the gifted membership to the community. We got a super chat from Michigander, 499 super chat. Jaylen, I know you're very active on Twitter. What's the number one thing you laugh at the Buckeyes when they say what they say about Michigan? Good question.
Probably all the record predictions. They always try to lowball Michigan, like they didn't lose to them last year. Like it's just funny, watching them try to say like this year will be different. I mean, it wasn't different the last 4 years. Y'all still lost. I mean, at the end of the day, y'all are 0-4. So, I mean, it's just funny. And, back and forth, like they both bring up good points. Every year, both teams are extremely like great and they always are, postseason contenders. So it's just good laughs and, good back and forth. So me and my family, always laugh at these types of Ohio State and Michigan memes because, it is the game of the year every single year.
All right. let's ask this question. What is your thoughts on this rivalry now that you are now a part of it and officially, you're one of the soldiers, I guess you could say, in the battle of Michigan versus Ohio State? What is your thoughts on this, and how excited are you for that first game?
Oh man, I'm excited. Like I've been counting down the days until I can go to Michigan, and my true freshman year will be going into the shoe. I think that's what it's called, and you can't. I mean, y'all have probably seen the video from last year where they're taking the field from the tunnel, and you could just see a crowd of just red.
Yes.
And it's just you're going with all your brothers,
Yes.
and so I'm just really excited. Like I can't wait to be a part of that. Hopefully keep it going 6-0. We got to go 5-0 this year, and my true freshman year, if I'm able to play and start as a freshman and get some good real-time reps, I'd love to play in that, love to be a part of that, and make an impact in that game, regardless if I'm on offense or special teams. Just being able to be a part of that legendary tradition is really fulfilling for me.
Absolutely. So my next question for you is and the community would be upset with me if I didn't ask. So I'm sure you've met Bryce Underwood. What is your thoughts on Bryce Underwood? Have you seen him play? What is your thoughts seeing him on the field and his skill set? And how is the hype real, Jaylen?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, when your only pro comp is Cam Newton, I think you're doing something a little bit right. And I was blessed to be able to go watch 2 practices over my spring break, and I mean, he's slinging it. Like and with Chip Lindsey now out there, like that offense really looks like they can do some damage passing, and even him and JD too. So both of them are having great competition with each other. Both pushing each other to be the best quarterback that they can be. Dapping each other up after every single throw and just making it friendly competition. But Bryce, man, he's the truth. Every bit of 6'4", 6'5", can run, great vision, beautiful deep ball. Like he's as advertised as I'd like to say. He's very as advertised.
Heck yeah. All right. So then let's ask you about Chip Lindsey. Okay. What is your thoughts on Chip Lindsey? And I know you got to look, check out this offense a little bit. What is your thoughts on this offense, and what do you think we can expect next season?
Oh, I love it. I love the offense. He came to the school, I think, in January this year, and I got to meet him as soon as he kind of got the job. He was making his rounds with all the guys that they've, offered around in Texas. And just being in that meeting room with him, with my family, like you could truly see he wants to change that narrative that Michigan's only a running team. Of course, Michigan's always going to have the O-lineman and the running backs, but he wants to bring back, that receiver glory days, and not just everybody think that Michigan's just a one-dimensional team and they'll only throw it when they have to throw it. Like we can be a pass-first team if we want and still hit you with the run and beat y'all by 40. So just seeing him, and I truly believe like what he wants us to gain and wants us to do now in these next couple years, like I truly buy into that, and I believe like every part of it.
Absolutely. All right. So, John, do you have another question for him before we get into his huddle tape and we kind of break down his game a little bit?
Last question. I guess this would lead into that. Watching you play, well, I'm gonna ask you, what type of player would you compare yourself to from current NFL or past NFL or past college or current college? Who would you compare yourself to?
I'd like to compare myself to Amon-Ra, Jamar Chase, those types of guys that can move around the whole offense. Because I mean, that's what Coach Bell said. He sees me playing. He sees me playing slot, outside, can leave me on an island. It's just those types of things. Like, and those are the guys who I watch. And Justin Jefferson, people who can switch throughout, because I feel like those are the smartest players. And that's one thing that I want to be. I want to know every position. I want to know every route, so that if somebody needs help with something, like they could just they can call on me and be one of those dependable guys that's always going to know what to do when the situation gets tough. So those guys that can kind of, move around. I've been able to meet, Amon-Ra when they came to Dallas. So he was real cool to talk to. So he's one of those guys that I look up to. I mean, his film speaks for itself. He's a great route runner, gets separation, and hands are elite. Jamar is going to be able to move inside and out. If you put him on that island, he's going to make any DB's, day really long. And Jay Jett is just for his downfield ability. Like when we pop in the film, you'll see a lot of downfield plays, and, just creating that much separation to where it looks like those guys are off the screen in the video, and I'm just, strolling into the end zone.
What's funny, Jaylen, is you said that your game resembles Amon-Ra. And what's funny is when we watched the tape last week, we've not talked. We were connected on social media and stuff, and we've liked each other's posts, but we've not talked. But we got the same vibe, Amon-Ra. Like, it is in your game. So let's get into the huddle tape here. I mean, so I'm gonna for those who haven't seen Jaylen Powell's game, his style of play. I mean, what you have is, in my opinion, Jaylen, I'll let you kind of tell the people, but what I see is an all-around game. I mean, that alone, that catch there, you could see your athleticism. I think either it might be the next play, but your hands, and it is this play, your hands are crazy strong, Jaylen. Like, a lot of kids can't handle that catch, man.
I was turned after that play. That was a fun.
And like, you can see you got a little bit of dot. Like, and I know Johnny loves this.
Yes, make them
Johnny
miss.
was like, we need to wiggle, and you got some wiggle, bro. So
Michigan has been missing the wiggle with receivers for some years.
Yeah, man. So I guess, Jaylen, kind of break down your game a little bit. Like, what is Michigan getting in a wide receiver like you?
You get an every down receiver, an explosive receiver, a receiver you can move around, and somebody that'll make you want to tune into the games. Like, that's my goal. I want to put butts in seats and make the games fun to watch. And just breaking down this film like that, like, you see all the deep threats type of stuff. Getting past defenses. And it's really just a route run. Like, you'll see right here on the release. Like, that's something I practice with my trainer more times than I can count. And, these things are just ingrained in my brain. And that's what you're going to get. And Coach Bell sees the exact same thing. Like, we'll sit down, and during the season, every Thursday, I would talk with him. We would break down what was good last game, what was bad, what I could work on, what looks really good right now, and, what I want to do for the next game and what he wants to see more of, trying to get on the same page already. So that's kind of what I've been talking about.
Absolutely, man. So, all right. So then let's get into the next question. I was kind of holding off on this early on. What is your thoughts on the ranking services? Obviously, share what you're comfortable sharing here, but, like, what is your thoughts on the ranking services? Does it motivate you, the ranking, when you see that, or is it something you don't even let phase you? What's your mindset on that?
Obviously, you don't want to look at these types of things, but those things creep into your mind. But I just use it as motivation for me, because, like, I already know what I am. I know what type of player I can be, and I know what these people, what Michigan sees in me, and it doesn't really matter what somebody else thinks, because I already know what I am. But a lot of people say I'm very, very underrated, and I just take these platforms and with every game in my head, like, oh, they think I'm underrated, I'm gonna show them why I'm not. And
I was gonna say, Jaylen.
And like the fruit, I mean, like I said before, the fruits of your labor will always show through hard work. And just seeing this film, like, I was blessed to, play with a Division I quarterback and, receivers around me who we all benefited from each other. Like, we had 3 1,000-yard receivers, including myself, this year. So just being able to be around these types of guys really elevate my game. And that, recruiting always is going to be there. A lot of coaches use that to, pick who they offer. But, that was different with Michigan. They offered me before I was even ranked, recruited that much, anything. I think they were my 12th offer. So it's still some time in there. And they just, believed in me before a lot of these other schools did. And that's, that stayed with me for a while and kind of, forward in my process to committing, earlier than later.
Yeah, it seemed like Michigan locked on to you early. I mean, they don't typically give kids a green light and such early in the process, but, man, Ron Bellion was after you for sure. I mean, another wide receiver who was slept on was Amon-Ra, 4th round, right? And how did I'm sure you've seen he's got the list of the guys drafted before him, and it's just nothing but motivation. So, keep doing your thing, bro. Keep grinding. The rankings at the end of the day don't matter. And like, we are Michigan, and we are development over stars here. Like, Mason Graham was a borderline 4-star player. Look at him, 5th overall pick, I believe he was. So, at the end of the day, rankings don't actually mean much. It's what you do when there's no camera at the end of the day. So, all right. So let's get a final thought here, Jaylen. What's your, before we take some calls, and Jaylen was nice enough to say he is willing to take some calls with us. So we'll keep the calls short, 3-minute calls. But I will say, what's your final thoughts, and what do you want to let Wolverine Nation know? And Johnny, if you have any question after this, you can go for it.
I just want to let them know you're going to get everything out of me. Like, I want to be a Michigan man through and through, and that's, what I signed up for. I want to be a part of this brand. I want to be a part of this legacy, and I'm going to make sure y'all got butts and seats for every game. I want to be that explosive playmaker that every time you turn on that TV and be like, oh, there's Jaylen again. I just want to make sure that, every time I'm on that field, you're gonna hear my name a lot. And, just inspiring the youth, because everybody's gone, every football player is looked up to somebody. And I just want to be somebody that, kids can turn on the TV and look up to. And like I said before, be like, oh my gosh, there's Jaylen Power right there. And, just be one of those guys and, bring back another national championship to Michigan.
Now you talking. You talking. You
Johnny.
preaching now. I like what I'm hearing, bro. From the work ethic, because the most important thing to anybody, for me at least, is do you work? When you're not playing the game, are you at the practice field? Because if you played, that's where you really get better. It don't take the coaches to be there. All it takes is some cleats and some cones for you to get better. Am I right?
Oh, of course.
Exactly.
It's the dark that, everybody else sees in the light. And like I said before, I'm going to keep reiterating on like the fruits of your labor type of thing. Like it's all those things that you do in silence and that nobody sees is, makes everything better for when everybody sees and, get shocked at it. Like, oh, when did he do this? Like, how did he get all this good? And that's when you get the oohs and ahs, when people actually see you developing. And I like how y'all brought up before, like it's development over stars. And, exactly. So that's just another thing that I really loved about the program, like the developmental stuff. And Coach Bellamy is a true developmental coach.
Yeah, look at Ronnie. So like Ronnie Bell was like a low 3-star, and the kid got to the league. It's just there's a lot of that. We've had guys who were walk-ons, like the Glasgows. They went to the league. Graham Glasgow's on the Lions right now.
Yep.
But so this actually, I wanted to ask you one more question. What was the moment like when you finally committed? Like, what was that like? First minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Was that like the craziest feeling ever? That was because like most people will never experience that.
Yeah. It was amazing. My mom and my dad were right next to me when I did it. It was a little bit hard because my mom started crying. And that's one of my weaknesses. My dad, is extremely proud, and it just felt like a weight off your shoulders. Because now you don't got to worry about getting this next offer. Now you can just play, and having that one school, getting all that time and devoting all that time to now just one school rather than all these other different schools. Like it takes a weight off your shoulders, and you can just truly perform and not worry about where do I need to go. I got a home already, so now let me just play carefree. And now I got somebody who I can be on the phone with, talk about film, talk about different coverages. Like it was just something that was really cool for me. And, it's going to be a moment that's going to be engraved in my brain like forever.
All right. I actually have more questions, but we have some super chats. Yeah. All right. Here's my other question. We'll get to some of these super chats. Thoughts on Sharomo and Ron Bellamy, man?
They're amazing. Like I said before, every Thursday it would be like a little round table, and I would just make my round through all the coaches, even Coach Alfred. Like I would just go and talk to them for like 10, 15 minutes every Thursday after my practice. And it was just awesome. Cause like you said, not a lot of kids will have the opportunity, talk to those coaches, and these coaches show real interest. So it just meant a lot for them to, take time out of their day and their busy schedule to talk to me and break down things that I could do better and do, that weren't so good in the game. And just setting goals for myself and seeing what they want to see, what Coach Moore wants to see. It's awesome talking to Coach Moore. Like he already gave me a nickname. He called me Big Smile Pile.
Nice.
So it's hard not to smile when you're on the phone with the head coach every Thursday, and it's an amazing feeling.
That's
right. Absolutely. All right. So then let's get to some of these super chats here. So our guy Tree Dog asks, have you met Brady Smeagol yet?
No, I have not met him, but I've been in contact with him for a while now. Me and him text, our parents text, and I think the first time I'll meet him I think he's on the same official visit as me, and a lot of those
guys. The 20th?
Yeah, the Victor's Weekend.
Victor's Weekend.
So him, Mason, Moose, Bear, I think Brody too. Like we're all on that same official visit. So hopefully at the end of the day we can get some more commits out there, and that'll be my first time meeting Brady.
Heck yeah, man. All right, we got another one from a fan favorite, Blue Wolverine, 49 Super Chat. Have you touched on his opinion of the facilities at Michigan? What are your thoughts on the facilities at Michigan?
Man, I'll bring an air mattress and sleep in there, man. That's got everything you need. The weight room's A1, perfect. Strength and conditioning staff is awesome. The indoor, like that's one of the biggest indoors I've ever seen. The outdoor fields, it gives you turf and grass depending on what team y'all are playing. Like it's just, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure, man. Is the weight room like insane when you walk in it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks
that big block game. It's hard to miss in that middle of it. And I was lucky enough to last year at the barbecue. We got to do a little bit of a workout in between our training sessions. So there wasn't that many people on the field. We did offense one day out on the field, and then they would switch to put the defense out on the field, and we would go into the weight room and do like a little mobility or a little bit of a strength session with the strength and conditioning people.
All right, we got the bowl will win here, aka B-Dub. Do you run track, Paul? Do you run track at all?
Last year I did. This year I was more focused on getting back in the lab with Coach Hooks, doing speed and other stuff kind of out of house. Seeing like those true speed and agility kind of gurus out there in Dallas, and just kind of working with them and working with my dad. So. And just getting that form and technique down, because that's the biggest thing about when you run. Like if you have good form, your feet will catch up with your arms. So it's not good to practice, like that bad form. And I've been able to get in the lab, work on that, get faster, bigger, and stronger all at the same time.
All right. We got a 999 super sticker here. Thank you, Blue Wolverines. Appreciate the support. We are 43 away from a second hour. Appreciate everyone's contributions. Interesting that our first caller is actually a Buckeye, Jaylen. So we'll see how this goes. Although I will say this Buckeye, by the way, is he's in the network. He hosts the Ohio State channel for the Voice of College Football.
Okay.
We are friends with Garrison. We'll see how this goes. Garrison, how we doing, buddy?
No, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, sir.
No, Jaylen, man. First of all, good to see you, man. Question for you: what are you preparing for this upcoming season?
Accomplishing everything that I did last year. We came in second place at state, left a bad taste in my mouth. So just getting back there and finally capitalizing and putting that, not just a period, but an exclamation point on my senior year. Obviously getting more yards, more receptions, more touchdowns, just elevating everything in my game so I can feel more college ready by the time I get to that, to the university. So I have a better chance of playing.
So in your highlight film earlier, I was watching the guys when you were already talking to them early, and I saw you go up for a few of those balls. I was like, oh no, this kid, like, you have really good length. You're really good at targeting the ball. Is that something that you've always been naturally gifted at, or is that something that you've had to work on?
I work on every aspect of my game. Not every. Obviously you can't really work on getting taller or arms being longer, but just like that jump ball aspect of it. Vertimax training, box jumps. Explosive, reactive things, plyometrics. Just things of that nature, obviously helped me develop my game into, where I could go over 6'3" DB and, kind of put it on his head or have those strong hands and just everything I work with.
And then my last question for you, man, is what is it that you like about Ann Arbor? Like what are you able to do around the area and the city, and what do you like about the program?
So first on the city, it's a very college town. Like there's everybody is a Michigan Wolverines fan, and that was big for me. The culture is it's awesome there. The city's beautiful. It's only 20 minutes from Detroit, so if I ever have a free weekend or a Sunday, I can go watch a Lions game. One of the guys my dad trains, Kirby Joseph, is on the line, so he's like a big brother to me. Loves my family, and he's one of those guys that if my parents need somebody to check on me, he's one of those guys that'll do it in a heartbeat. And being able to have that relationship with him is just amazing. And luckily he got extended, so I'll have at least 3 more years up there with him. And the city's beautiful. There's a lot of things to do, a golf course right by the facility. So the possibilities are really endless right there.
Let me ask you about Kirby Joseph, man, because I'm a big Lions. Lions are my team. So what's your thoughts on Kirby, man? What's awesome. He like? Yeah.
And I could sit here and talk about Kirby for an hour, man. He's awesome. Even when he's trained, I've trained with him a couple times. Like he's like a quote machine. He's a funny guy. Yeah. Like he makes workouts fun, and you could tell he plays that way too. On the field, it just looks like he's having fun. Everything's just so effortless, and just seeing him perform at the highest level, leading the NFL in picks is not something very easy. A lot of people can do, and just seeing him work and seeing it come through and personify as a as a Lion on the big screen. It's amazing. And every week we're gonna be parked in front of a TV every week watching Kirby and praying that he gets another pick. And a lot of our prayers were answered this year. And he's just an all-around guy. He's a great person in my family. Every time my little brother posts something on Instagram, he's the first one reposting, commenting. Like he's an all-around guy, and he's just somebody that I can look up to and somebody that I truly view as like a big brother to me.
And he's another one that was slept on too. I think he was drafted in the 3rd round, right?
Yep, 3rd round out of Illinois.
See,
Big
Brad
Tim.
Holmes, Michigan. They find them gems, man.
Yeah. Big
Garrison,
Tim ball special.
Oh, you're good, Jim. Garrison, final question. What do you got for him? You're scared.
Do you have a message for any of us Buckeye fans?
Shoot, just be ready. I mean, it's gonna be a hard fought battle, but I'm gonna take my guys over y'all every day of the week, twice on Sundays, man. So it's something that I want to be a part of, and I just can't wait to be playing in that game because there's gonna be NFL players on that field. 95% of them are gonna be 1st or 2nd rounders, and it's just amazing, brotherhood to be a part of and an amazing type of culture to be with. And like I said before, it's a game that everybody circles on their calendar, regardless of whatever fan you are. You could be an Alabama fan, but you'll still tune in to watch the game every year. So it's just something that is amazing, and I just can't wait to be a part of it next year.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Johnny, TJ, I'll see you later. Jaylen, good talking to you, May. Hope and pray nothing but blessing, prosperity on you, young man. All right.
I appreciate that, Garrison. Thank you.
Of course.
Peace out, Garrison. Good man, Garrison. Some of the community gets upset when we bring Garrison on because he's a Buckeye, but he's a good man. He's a good man.
A good Buckeye.
All right.
Yeah, just a good
All right,
Buckeye.
so I want to share with the community your social media account. Give our friend Jaylen a follow, guys. One of us, part of the family. Let's give him a follow. Let's build up a social media account. Jaylen or Johnny, any final thoughts before we get out of here with Jaylen?
Nothing really. Just good luck to him, and keep getting better, keep grinding. That's what it's all about. And you building that brotherhood with the other recruits coming in with you. Make that bond and come to Michigan to accomplish a goal. That's what it's about.
Yes, sir.
The same way JJ and Donovan and those boys came in 2021, and they made a bond, and the goal was we're going to beat all the states, and we're going to win the Big Ten, and we're going to win the championship.
That's the only goal. I mean, I'm coming in there focused as one team and one goal every year, and anything other than that we don't want. So I just want to be able to bring back another national championship and have my last name stamped in that history book for the rest of the time.
Exactly.
All right, Jaylen, I want to say thank you for calling in and giving us your time, bro. It means a lot to us in the community. And you know what, Jaylen, I'm going to extend an invitation. You are welcome to come on here whenever you want. You want to promote anything, let us know. You got a charity, you let us know. You got you're doing a signing, or you let us know. We got you, man. So this is a home for you whenever you want to come on here. So appreciate you, Jaylen. Keep grinding, bro, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Oh, of course.
Appreciate it, Jaylen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go blue, brother.
Oh, go blue.